Welcome everyone to my new educational materials. Scramble here, and I'd like to discuss about a $97,000 business model for 2025. A lot of you are looking forward for a much better year, and there is room for that. So today I'd like to share with you my perspective, help you with some numbers, and then of course deal with the things. Before we get started, make sure to join my prop firm discussion Discord group. The link is in the comments area, where we create a community that help each other to create a better journey of the prop firms. Let's get into fellas. We have a $97,000 business model in a year. This is something that obviously has a level of difficulties and discussions that needs to be portrayed. So I'd like to begin by telling you also the discussion that is on the discounts available for TickTick Trader. There's a video with the Christmas discount as well, but there's also the traditional discount that you can have, which is no big deal at all. The Christmas discount, and the other side is the gift card, but this one is the classic discount that you can have with the Scramble coupon code. If you care about the Christmas discount, you have to watch the other video on my channel, right? So let's get back to our business model that we have to talk about now, to portray realistic chances, because this is what most of the people fear. What are my realistic chances in a custom way, in a very specific way, compared to other traders or other persons or your Scramble? Because I've got my own skills, I've got my own ways of trading and my own numbers, and it's definitely not the same for everyone. Therefore, we're trying to cover some averages and some instances, and in order to maximize your chances, because that's the deal, right? You have to maximize things in order to hope for the best. And that is always the maximum accounts available live at one time on TickTick Trader, and this is 5 accounts available. Right now, the best price is at 150k accounts, and probably this is going to remain like that for a long period of time, right? So the 150k accounts right now are the best prices. It is $450 per account, and you can have 5 accounts live at a time, so that will cost you to purchase the max $2,250. The max payout per session for each account separated is $3,000, but TickTick Trader has a profit split of 90 to 10, which makes you $2,700 right now with the accounts you can purchase. Right now, this is what you can get, $2,700 in a single account payout. As you can see, this is already covering, actually it's more than 5 account purchases. And that's great, because that allows you to have a very strong edge, as it looks like. So with a single payout, you're covering more and you're actually ending in profit 5 accounts. Beautiful. Only with 3 payouts per month, we have the ability to generate for that $8,100. If we multiply that times 12, it's going to be $97,200. Only with 3 payouts per month. TickTick Trader has 20% consistency, and that actually looks for a 5 to 6 days minimum trading, and this is allowing you in a month actually to have the ability to go for multiple payouts, even for the second cycle. I mean, the first cycle, the first trading session as a cycle is probably the most difficult, but then the second cycle, once you got paid in your first cycle, is a lot easier, because you only have to make the money to be back at your threshold, the payout threshold, which is the level of 157,500. You have to be back at 157,500. And while you're back at that level, you have to respect basically in your second cycle as well the 20% consistency. You might need to trade only $20 a day, or $300 a day, or $600 a day. Depends where are you located. If you're quite close to your payout threshold, then you just have to produce smaller amounts of money. Of course, if you are at a natural level, for example, you have 157,500, you cash out 3,000, you only receive 2,700, but 3,000 is going to be cut out of the account, so you remain with 154,500. You have to produce that $3,000. If you produce that in 6 days, you're actually needing to produce $500 daily, and that's quite comfortable, right? So only with 3 payouts per month, and it's kind of obvious that a single account can qualify even for the second payout, especially that the second payout is a lot easier than the first payout. So just putting together like that, you got 5 accounts, you get started nicely. Only 3 payouts, which is possible to be completed even with 2 accounts only. Due to the fact that with an account you have 2 payouts, you might reach 2 payouts, with the other one you only reach to a single payout, right? So there's multiple ways of reaching that. You pretty much have that average, gives you 97,200. It's a great number. It's almost $100,000 from prop firms. And with a such balance, trading on your own on 2026, for example, and even earlier than that, is a total different story. Where you, let's say, focus on $200, $300 a day and slowly build your balance like that, making sure you have the sufficient confidence to perform on your own, or even with TickTick Trader go live and trade total different. But the idea here is to have sufficient resources from this business model to be able to trade on your own as well. So another thing people might consider, and this is probably the most important thing here, is of course scramble. The number sounds great, 97 grand. It's with a possibility of only 3 payouts per month, and there's not many days that I have to trade correctly to achieve those targets. Not that difficult in theory, that's right, but in reality this is not the same for everyone, and it's obviously having levels of difficulties, and that is true, which is why I'm saying the next question, indeed, but how much could be the price to achieve that? This is another very important thing and a very important question everyone should know, because it is useless to talk about earnings if you don't talk about the price of those earnings. So the first thing is, depends on your success ratio. And this is different from the person to the person. And that is something that could be improved, which is something you have to work on. By the way, for those of you that care about one-to-one education, I do have a coaching program. I'm talking about it. It's in the comments area or in the description area, scramblecoaching.com, for all the industries, not just about crypto, for everything, including this one, futures and all that stuff, right? So 30%, 50%, and 60% ratios I'm sharing as examples to deal with numbers. 3 out of 10 accounts reaching payout, or 3 out of 10 payouts, will give you an $8,100 revenue. With $4,500 spent, this is a $3,600 pure profit. Why is it $4,500 spent? Because this is the price of 10 accounts that you are buying. 10 accounts, $4,500, 3 of them reaching to payout, that's $8,100. We assume 3 of them reach to their first payout. But attention please, if you get to the second payout, which just like I said, and the third payout and the fourth or anything subsequently, is a lot easier. So there's more chances for you to touch the second payout, which means that these numbers are the minimum possible. 8,100 could be very easily achieved even with 2 accounts, not with 3. If you got 3, and if you successfully bring at least 1 more or 2 more to the payout within the same month, then you're actually going to talk about a $13,000 revenue from 3 accounts that got to the payout. So these numbers are actually, in terms of the revenue per account, the minimum possible with a first payout. But there's basically the ability to qualify for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 payouts. 6 is actually the maximum, because then you're transferred to live trading, and that's a different thing. So this is basically a $3,600 profit with those numbers if you have a success ratio of 30% on your activity. Success ratio calculated towards the number of payouts you get, not necessarily to the number of accounts. We can also call it that way, because an account can give you multiple payouts. So that is probably, representing 3,600 times 12, that's $43,000 pure profit. That's something, of course, for a lot of the people, this is a great additional income. It's a great boost to their revenue every single year. From here, you cut out your taxes and you are having something to build from, something to work for, a 50% ratio, something to utilize during difficult financial conditions, or whatever. Now, 50% is actually representing different numbers already. So just by increasing from 3 payouts to 5 payouts is going to give you a $13,000 500 revenue per month. With 4,500 spent, because you were buying the same 10 accounts, right? We're going to be left with $9,000 profit. That $9,000 profit is actually more than 8,100 I've been talking about with 3 payouts per month, right? So to be on top of the cost with 3 payouts per month is actually 8,100. 9,000 is more than that. If you multiply 9,000 times 12, that is $108,000 pure profit right there. And that's a great business. So 50% success ratio of the accounts you're purchasing to reach them to payouts is something that gives you those numbers. Again, not necessarily 5 out of 10 accounts, but actually 5 payouts from 10 accounts purchased. This is actually the best way to call it. 5 payouts from 10 accounts purchased. $108,000. And that is significant. That is meaningful because from there, a business could start that at some point can generate you a sufficient balance for you to be a full-time trader if this is something you consider. Of course, depends on the economy situation, on your costs of living and all that stuff, but some people need 50 grand to start a full-time career, others need 250 grand, others need just $10,000. It depends on quite external things. 50% ratio right now is not achieved by the majority. 50% ratio is only achieved by a minority. So that means 5 payouts out of 10 accounts is definitely not achieved by the majority right now. And of course, I'm telling you these numbers because I know stats in terms of the way the prop firms are running. I know basically how the numbers are looking internally for prop firms. Generally speaking, how does the industry looks like. So 60%, basically 6 out of 10 reaching payout, which is the next level, is already, a beautiful number out there, having a $16,200 revenue with an $11,700 pure profit. Already 11,700 times 12 is 140 grand. This is, again, for someone that is really, really skilled at trading. So this is probably the top 3%, the top 2%, the top 4% around that level, or maybe the top 1% achieving that one. Meanwhile, the most popular option could be the first one on 3 out of 10. So 3 payouts from 10 accounts. If you keep that ratio, you know that you have to practice, exercise, trade, repeat the process, always sit on max accounts, and just grab those numbers. Because even $3,600 per month is something additional that adds in 12 months. So it's not something I would actually get rid of. And it is a number that in 2 years, just by repeating those numbers, and you might not be really satisfied by seeing, 30% success ratio or so, but that is something that should be kept in mind, guys. Because it's, additional profit, additional revenue in 43,200 in 2 years is actually about $80,000, $86,000 that you have. And that's a great level to start working with. Keep in mind, if you learn how to trade correctly in 1, 2, 3 years, and you're having a strong edge, from that point, you have sufficient time for your financial life to take advantage of. This is not an activity that has to be learned without any other borders in a few months. People that do not dedicate sufficient time for the experiences they face in the markets to digest, interiorize, learn them, will not be able to be successful in trading. People having the wrong expectations. This is one thing that I have to cover, guys. Especially 2025 is going to come quite soon. The wrong expectations. Most of the time, this is what triggers the losses. Most of the time, this is what avoids you to be successful. The concept of the wrong expectations can very easily generate a snowball effect of multiple issues from the psychology side And then, of course, those of you expecting that with a wrong psychology you can make the right decisions is again an issue, because it's not like that. You're having extra difficulties. What do I mean by that? You have to do your job, guys, to never ever add extra cost to your efficiency of work. Even though we might talk about, abstract cost or any financial cost that is directly finance. The abstract could be, for example, any emotional type of trading that you're adding to your journey that you have to challenge and fight with and, of course, overcome. If you're adding that to yourself, then this is what's going to, require you to be better and overcome that roadblock, right? So we're speaking about these things in the most efficient way possible for you to have the best way out here in terms of 2025. $97,000 is, of course, a number that requires strong ratios. But let me just keep him. What if we have a 20% ratio, guys? 20% ratio, which is a 2 accounts reaching, or 2 payouts out of 10 accounts. 2 payouts. This could even be just a single account that you do 2 payouts in a month, and then that's it, right? So this is a number that gives you $5,400 and you spend $4,500. So even that way, you're actually in profit with 20% ratio. You're not in profit with a 10% ratio, but 10% ratio is extremely small. So that means you are at a process where you can only be better if you have that ratio. And that means you shouldn't give up. It's just about a time, knowledge, focus, strength. And let me tell you, I've been working with students that were down more than 6 figures, that were down 5 figures, and at the time they cracked the code, at the time they got to that point of being consistently profitable. It's just about a question of time once again until you recover everything. It's just about the numbers, of course, at that time. So in trading, once you are on the right path and you are capable handling that, which is something very difficult, by the way, you are having all the chances to recover whatever amount you have been spending to reach to that point. All the chances in a very realistic way. Because then it's just a rinse and repeat process. So this is where we are, fellas. Not going to keep you here for more. There's many ways going around this thing, probably with a 20% ratio, which is, $5,400, and then you spend $4,500, not the most attractive to be at the end of the month on $700. But still, if that gives you fuel for the next month, that is, an additional thing that contributes positively than other scenarios that are completely negative, right? So anything starting by 20% ratio is putting money on the table, and then the higher you go, the better you are. To be at a 5 out of 10, 5 payouts from 10 accounts in a month is basically not an easy procedure, but this is an ideal level that people should fight for. Even slightly lower than that is going to make a lot of the people comfortable. Majority of the guys here would like to perform trading part-time and have fun doing that, enjoy, and of course an additional income is not an issue. It's never a problem. That's pretty much all in today's video. Subscribe to the channel for more educational materials. In 2025, we are going to get started to do live trading on NASDAQ futures at the opening time of the market. We're going to have some fun. We're going to trade together. We're going to enjoy this process. Not sure exactly on which date do I start, but this is exactly on my plan and schedule. So it will happen. In 100% way, it will happen. It's just a question of time till I sort out certain things in terms of my schedule about it. So I hope to get started in January, but I'm not sure if I can do that. We'll have to see. And then there's many other materials that should help you basically constantly. I do talk about a lot of the things on my channel. I'm also going to share with you many more. So that's pretty much all. Once again, if you care about the Christmas promotion, which is ending by the end of 2024, then you have to watch the video about it. It's quite a lot. It's just a gift card type of promotion. If you care about a traditional promotion on 150K, which is discounted, it's 454, and the coupon code is Scramble. For the gift cards, the coupon code is Scramble1 and Scramble2, 1 and 2 as numbers, right? But you see those details in the video. However, generally the coupon code for the promotions across 2025 will always remain for max discounts available Scramble, guys. You can always utilize that. Have fun, enjoy, reward the person you appreciate, and we'll talk to you soon.